I turned 57 last month, and my ex-girlfriend turned 55 a few days ago. We were together 25 years before I called it quits 2 weeks ago. When my ex and I got together, she was a self-described open-minded person who, unlike other women I dated, didn't start pulling my arm on the marriage issue after we passed the 1-year mark. She had a mom who grew up in Sweden where couples would live together and have children but never marry. She was always on the fence about children. However, I didn't want children because at the time I was thinking about how much I was willing to sacrifice to start a business and how I'd resent my kids for getting in the way of that. We argued over this and went to counseling over this. Our arguments were interrupted by the fact that my startup costs led us to sell plasma to survive. Then it was like we woke up one day and my girlfriend was 39 and I was 41, and the money finally started coming in. I felt like my girlfriend didn't want to rock the boat then, and we just wanted to enjoy the money. We traveled the world. She quit her job to volunteer for a charity. I got involved in causes too. However, I'm in my late 50s now, and I think in the back of my mind, it never registered that the door to having biological kids was closed forever. But it hit home when my girlfriend, sort of in a blasé way, said, "Well, that's the end of phantom pregnancies for me," when she found out she was menopausal at 53. Since then, I've been in an internal crisis because everything about my life has gotten old. My life felt empty. I had worked through the emotional issues that prevented me from wanting kids, and now I desperately wanted a family. My doctor told me I wouldn't be the first older father. What's worse is that a lot of my once divorced friends who are also in their 50s have easily had healthy, happy children, and finally the time and money to devote to them. I felt I was in a place where I appreciated children, could provide for them, and would never take my children's mom for granted, always seeing her as beautiful, unlike guys in their 30s. I became more depressed, and finally I realized that if I wanted to do something about my desire to have biological kids, to see little quirks of myself reflected in my kids in a way that can only be described by biology, I needed to act now. So I sat my then girlfriend down and said, this was what I was struggling with. She tried to shame me by saying this was me having a midlife crisis and that I'd used up her time and I owed her. Even called me narcissistic for wanting to adopt, as she suggested, when nearly all parents try for biological kids before adopting. I'm letting her stay in my vacation house for a month so she can find her own place. The whole time she told everybody I was crazy and would wake up. Am I the idiot for changing my mind about kids at 57 and leaving my girlfriend because of it? Ex-girlfriend is acting like I don't get to change my mind. You are the idiot. You're the hugest moron ever. You're a monster. She spent her life with you, waiting for the timing to be right, while it never was for you. Now that you're old enough to be a grandpa, you've decided you want kids, and the woman who loved you and suddenly spent her life on your goals, dreams, and plans isn't good enough. I feel truly sorry for her. You've ruined her life, and you don't even care because it's all about you. Did I just read that this woman sold plasma for him and his startup business? And he manipulated her into staying with him, unmarried, and never giving her kids. And he's graciously giving her a month to get the heck out of his property? Wow. Just wow. Poor woman should have pressured him into marriage at least. He's kicking her out and probably leaving her with nothing after the humongous sacrifice she made for his cruel butt. What a piece of crap. I love how it's your vacation house and your business, yet she contributed as much as you did to these things. She sold her blood, dude, to get your business started. You're a real snake. If I was her, I'd sue the crap out of you, literally for half. Just to be clear, you're clearly not father material with what you just pulled. Finding someone and starting a relationship and planning for children will not be as easy as you think. He's gross for what he is saying, but what he isn't saying, I think, is probably even more gross. He's probably gotten some attention from someone much younger and is willing to flush a great relationship over it and grasp for a better reason. OP's girlfriend is right. He's wasted her time, and I wish I could hug her over what's happening to her. I sincerely hope the younger chick milks this guy for all he's worth and delays having a child until this guy is dead. At my 37 male mother's birthday dinner, my brother, 38, reached across the table to take an onion fritter off of my daughter's plate. My daughter protested. She said, "Hey, give that back," but wasn't screaming. Her volume was above conversational, but not any louder than most people would be in that situation. I asked my brother what was wrong with him, and he laughed. He said my kids are spoiled and have bad manners. My aunt said, "If you took food off my plate, I wouldn't yell about it," with an emphasis on yelling, implying she would do something else instead. My brother ate the fritter, and my daughter said, "Dad, he ate my bhaji. That one was mine." My dad waved down the waiter and asked for another order and told my daughter they would be for her, and she was happy. My brother then said, "That's why my kids are spoiled." I said, "You would never take food off of an adult's plate." He only felt confident enough to do that because she's a kid. I said that was pathetic, and my toddler has better table manners than him. He said he wasn't the one who yelled at the table and that I should be ashamed of letting my kids order so much on Dad's dime. I said no, he was the one who was stealing food at the table, which is way worse than a startled exclamation. He said I was raising my kids not to have social skills or to be able to handle disappointment. My mom told everyone to be quiet and not ruin her dinner, so I shut up. After dinner, my brother tried to talk to me, but I just told him to hush and ushered my wife and kids to the car. The main reason I think I might be an idiot is that this all happened during my mom's birthday dinner. At the moment, I felt I had to defend my daughter, but maybe I should have just ordered a replacement dish for her and not addressed the situation during the dinner. Was I the idiot? Nope, you defended your kid. Good for you. And maybe your brother felt confident he could act out because you were at your mom's dinner and everybody was supposed to behave, and he thought nobody would say anything. But your daughter knows what's right and what's wrong and is young enough that the big social politeness thing didn't stop her at the moment. Good for you for backing her up. Not the idiot. What the heck? This is about as close to stealing candy from a baby as literally possible. He would never do this to an adult. I would start seating myself between him and my kids to prevent this kind of thing in the future. I'm sensing a golden child regarding your brother's dynamic there from your mom's reaction. Is your brother jealous of your tween or something? Because this doesn't seem like the behavior of a grown man. Teach your kids to aggressively poke their uncle with a fork if he tries that again. And when he freaks out, just say, "At least you didn't yell." Your brother is absolutely an idiot for stealing a kid's food and then saying they had bad manners for speaking up about it. My 22 female parents passed away recently and have left everything to me and my sister, tween. My parents were wealthy and set up a trust fund for my sister and me. I can get access to it now, but my sister has to wait until she's 21. My sister's going to a boarding school abroad, and I'm working abroad. We're initially from a Southeast Asian country. Our family home is extremely huge and unoccupied, as my parents have passed away. After discussing it with my sister, I decided to sell that house to help pay for her education. I don't want her to use her trust money because I believe it was set aside for her future after her studies, just like my parents did for me. My parents paid for my education, housing, etc. Since I just started working recently, I can't fully support my sister financially. We have 3 more houses, and I've decided to turn them into an Airbnb. The other 3 houses are just apartments and smaller than our main house. My sister and I have no plan to return to our home country, so I don't see the reason for keeping the house. Yes, the house contains lots of memories, but managing it would put a dent in my pocket. My parents lived more comfortably than their siblings do, so they would always help them out. However, my relatives always took advantage of their kindness. They were incredibly mean to me and my sister growing up, so I don't have a good relationship with them. My mom had promised my cousin that she could have her engagement party at our place when she was young, around 6. We're Desi's, so the engagement party is going to be extravagant. There is no written agreement about this, and my mom never once brought this up. My sister and I hate this cousin because she used to bully us. My cousin freaked out when I said I'd sell the house. She told me to wait 7 more months before selling because she wanted to have her engagement party there. I refused and said for 7 months the house would be occupied and I couldn't be bothered to manage it. She said she could move in with her family. I stood my ground and said no. Everyone on my mom's side is angry because I'm ruining my cousin's life. Also, since they can't afford to rent a hall, I'm being an idiot. My lawyer said I'm in the clear here and I don't owe her anything. My boyfriend and sister are on my side. Some friends say I'm an idiot because it's legally right but morally wrong. My relatives are still harassing me. Oh, dear God, no, not the idiot. Morally what? It's your house. You didn't promise anything to anyone. Your mom did. They bullied you and your sister. What moral are they talking about? The same they use with you and your family? They already took advantage. You are not ruining anything. Your friends can help her if they have a problem. Wanting to move into your house for 7 months just so they can have an engagement party there is a huge red flag. They're trying to occupy your house and claim it's theirs or guilt trip you into letting them stay there longer. Stand your ground and lawyer up. Get buyers discreetly and sell the property before they break in and become squatters. It'll become difficult to move them then. Make sure you have a good security system in the house and turn off the utilities as much as you can without damaging anything too. You probably need electricity for the security devices, but the house likely doesn't need water until it's sold. If you are in a chilly area, the natural gas could be turned off too. If they do break in, I suspect that unofficially turning off utilities is likely a criminal violation. I was on the verge here, but everyone on my mom's side is angry because I'm ruining my cousin's life. LOL, pathetic much? How do you ruin her life by not letting her use your venue? She needs to get her crap together and throw her oh so precious engagement party herself. Probably along the lines of, how humiliating. Yes, show off your own wealth, gold digger. Definitely not the idiot. And I'm really sorry for your loss. You sound like a great big sister. A friend, Sam, is 4 months pregnant with her second child and celebrating her 33rd birthday. We all went to a nice restaurant to celebrate her birthday. She orders a bottle of red wine for the table, and she starts drinking. When the waiter's pouring her glass, she basically has it up to 3/4 of the glass. We're looking at Sam like, come on, that's a lot. And then one of her friends is like, Sam, you aren't going to drink all of that, right? Sam's like, relax. You can have 1 or 2 glasses. Red wine is filled with antioxidants. My gynecologist told me that you should have 0 alcohol, but I was thinking, okay, 1 glass of wine can't be too bad. After dinner, we ended up going to a cocktail bar. When we're there, I tell Sam, look, they have all these great mocktails. She looks at the menu and then orders a Long Island iced tea. And another one of her friends tells Sam to come on, it's not good for the baby. She then snaps at us, telling us that enough men are trying to control women's bodies, that she doesn't need us telling her what to do. After that, it got really quiet, and we all backed off. Sam ended up drinking a couple of more drinks after that. She ordered birthday shots, and then got a frozen Slurpee type drink. Sam got decently intoxicated, and we got her an Uber home. After the party, Sam posted pictures of the dinner and at the cocktail bar, and in some of the photos, she looks intoxicated. A lot of our mutual friends are saying that we're all guilty for not stopping Sam. Most of the blame is on her, but people have been saying that we're bad friends for letting her hurt her baby like that. I don't know what to do. Sam is a good friend of mine, but she's a grown woman. Am I supposed to tell her what she can and can't do when she's pregnant? What has made the situation bad is that Sam's now told people we were encouraging her to do birthday shots, etc., when we were all cringing when she was drinking. At this point, Sam's family all see us as bad friends. Not the idiot, but personally, I'd be cool with burning a friendship down to the ground over this. Getting intoxicated is for adults, not for fetuses building neural pathways. She's a grown woman, and this isn't her first rodeo regarding pregnancy. If she doesn't have it in her to care, then nothing you said or did was going to change that. Yeah, were you all supposed to restrain her physically? What did they want you to do? So she's a hypocrite, as well as irresponsible and dishonest. This is all on her, not you guys. Everyone said what they should have. Why the heck did you then proceed to go to another bar with her? I'd have given her a piece of my mind, and I'd tell her baby daddy. They deserve to know that their child is being endangered. She sounds like an alcoholic, and you lot aren't helping. You poured gasoline on a lit fire. Everyone's the idiot here. Whoever decided the next stop should be a cocktail bar is an idiot too. We have 2 kids. I love to take family pictures. A lot of them are when they're in action, and that usually means I'm not in the photos. My husband doesn't really take photos, so really no pictures with me in them. So I booked a photo shoot to have a nice photo of the whole family. My husband has been a pain the whole time, not understanding why I would like a family photo. All he had to do was show up wearing some decent clothes. We were doing it after I got the kids from school, and he showed up in a band t-shirt. I was angry, but the photos went on. We got into a huge argument after the kids went to bed. He told me I should be happy he showed up at all, and I blew up and told him I'm not his mother, and he knew how to dress himself. He thinks I'm a jerk, but I feel he purposely messed up the photos. Is it that hard to wear a button-down polo when I ask? Am I the idiot for telling my husband that I'm not his mother and he knows how to dress himself properly? We literally had a whole conversation about the kids' clothes and then what would match them. Not the idiot, but I don't understand why he had a problem showing up for the photos, and I don't understand why he wore a band t-shirt. He knew that was inappropriate. Perhaps it was a passive-aggressive attempt to get back at you for forcing him to be in the photo. I think his behavior is pretty outrageous. And this is why people have the much ridiculed selfie sticks, so they can take photos of themselves and themselves with others, because nobody else, and I'm looking at your husband, can be asked to do it. OP, your husband doesn't have to understand why you want to have a nice family photo. He should go along with it and try to be appropriate because it's important to you. What you wanted was harmless and really pretty common and nice. Now he gets to be memorialized in his band t-shirt. At the same time, it sounds like the rest of you looked cleaned up and nice. Yay. This is such an underrated yet critically important concept. You don't always need to understand why something's important to someone you care about. You just need to respect it, and you just do things for others because you love them. I want to ask, how long have you been carrying this dude? Does he not realize that father and husband are roles and not medals? He's trying to pass off the bare minimum as maximum effort, and you should be so lucky. I'm willing to bet that this process of his also counts towards other instances in your relationship. He absolutely did this on purpose. Why are you married to someone who cares so little about you? Also, this tactic was incredibly manipulative. No one really takes photos except professional photographers, which most of us aren't. Your husband is absolutely capable of snapping a few family pictures here and there because he knows it's important to you. His disdain for you is a lot. I married my husband 2 years ago. He has 2 kids, 24 female and 22 male. He had a very nasty divorce from their mom that was fought out over years. Part of the reason for the marriage ending was she had a sugar problem and blew through their savings and was running up credit cards he didn't know about to pay for it. The divorce was finalized when the youngest was 16. She wanted the house in the divorce, which was a big part of the fight. She ended up getting it. She immediately moved in with her addict boyfriend and another couple they used with, and the house ended up getting destroyed and falling into foreclosure. And then they proceeded to squat in it and had to be forcibly removed. Because my husband and his ex ended up also having to file bankruptcy, he had been living in a friend's basement when I met him due to his credit being wrecked. Fast forward, we're married. He moves into my house. We have a prenuptial agreement. He can't be on the mortgage due to his credit anyway, and his ex and kids live with their grandparents. His kids and ex don't like me. They refer to me as that witch. But at this point, they're all adults, so I'm not going to force things with him. Grandparents recently had to sell their home and are now living with their mom's friends. They asked if they could move in with us, and I said no. Both got angry and started telling me that this was their dad's home, which made this their family home too, and it wasn't up to me if they could live there or not. They started spouting off every insult they could think of. I interrupted them and told them it was not their family home, and if they were looking for their family home, they needed to talk to their mom because she chopped it up and put it up her nose, which wasn't my problem. A huge part of the reason I don't want them here is that their mom has since squatted multiple places, forcing roommates to have to threaten her with eviction to get her out, and told the last one she would leave for a certain amount of money. The kids and her are very close, and I don't want that happening in my house. We also have reason to believe the oldest may be using. Am I the idiot for telling my husband's kids that my house isn't their family home? Edit. We got married when the youngest was 20. They said they didn't want to be involved with me, and I respected that. My marriage with him is fine. He contributes, has a job, and makes his own money. We have no drama, aside from this, since he tends to spend his time with his kids away from the house. Their choice. I can't believe they talk to you like that, but then expect to move in? Oh, heck no. Not the idiot. And get cameras for your house if you don't already have any. Just to be safe, consult an attorney about your options. Since they are known squatters, you need to protect your home from them. My adult nephew stayed a month at my mom's house between apartments and became a de facto renter with all rights entailed in my state. It took me a year to get him out of there through the courts. Don't even let them in the door. Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, who in their right mind would allow people who are such blatant idiots to move into their house? Like, I'm gonna call you names, be an absolute jerk to you, and simultaneously demand that I'm entitled to live with you? No. However, where's the husband in this? She shouldn't have to deal with the adult temper tantrums and verbal assaults. I hope for OP's sake, he puts his kids in their place. My guess is nobody does, hence their behavior. You all sound like idiots. You seem to have very little compassion for your families. Yes, they are your family now. Situation to tell kids how their mom destroyed their house. Is it the kids' fault that their mom's an addict? You threw that in their faces, and I can see why they call you names. I wonder how many times you've ragged their mother to them. They have no rights to your house, but you suck at being considerate. Where was your husband when his kids needed him? He shouldn't allow them to be squatting as kids with their mom. I feel sorry for the kids. Kids? They're adults. 16 at the divorce. Stable life before the mother destroyed everything. After divorce. OP, don't do it, or they'll destroy your home. They're old enough to fend for themselves. Don't let your husband talk you into it. OP, please don't invite them over for any holidays. They most likely won't leave. If your husband insists, go to a restaurant. Never let them in your house. Keep your keys and wallet in a safe place. Don't let them steal your keys and make copies or steal money or credit cards from you. That's a very toxic family you married into. Protect yourself at all costs. My 27 female, husband 28 male, Eli, has 2 sisters and his brother, the youngest, Ryan, 20. Ryan is 6'4", but skinny little thing, gets treated like a baby, and is extremely quiet. Everyone starts conversations with him 100% of the time, and he replies with one-word answers without looking up, and they all constantly ask if he's okay. He speaks monotone, and it gets agitating. I'm not sure he even knows what I look like, even though he's seen me so much. We visited Eli's family for dinner yesterday evening. Ryan was seated in front of me. Eli asked him how he was, and he just smiled and nodded. I had enough and thought it was rude, but I didn't lash out. I calmly asked Ryan if he was going to reply. He just stared at me. So I said, "Hello?" The whole time, Eli kept nudging and glaring at me. And then I said, "I think it's a bit rude that you don't answer when spoken to," in a lighthearted tone. To my surprise, Ryan walked off crying, and Eli told me to shut up. Luckily, the rest of his family was in the kitchen. He's never spoken to me like that before, and the rest of the dinner was awkward. When we came home, Eli told me not to speak to Ryan again, and that I was the one who was being rude. I disagree. Am I the idiot for making my brother-in-law cry, even though he was being rude? You are the idiot. Ryan responded by smiling and nodding his head. That is an acknowledgement that he heard and a response. Nobody's required to answer you back when you talk to them, whether they're ND or NT. Insisting on verbal conversation when the other person has clearly indicated that they're not interested in it is rude. OP is a bully and narcissistic. They remind me of all the worst people I've met who have said stuff like this to me or others just because we didn't give the perfect reaction they wanted, or have anxiety, or whatever, and they don't view it as a real thing, and they think we should just act like we don't have it. OP, it sounds like you were just looking to start crap, and if I were there, I'd tell you to shut up too. How can you be so socially oblivious that you don't see that this guy's dealing with social difficulties? At best, he's extremely shy, and at worst, he might be dealing with something like autism. Either way, it's completely idiotic to criticize someone for struggling with something like that. You aren't his parent. It's not your job to educate him. You were the only person who had a problem with this. Everyone else was fine. I don't even blame the kid, really. With your attitude, I wouldn't want to talk to you either. I, 26 male, took a little friend vacation with my close friend group this weekend. A few of them invited their SOs, and I've been dating my girlfriend, 25, long enough that bringing her along wouldn't be awkward. So my girlfriend gets along with all my friends very well, excluding one. My friend Jessica, 25, is very nice, and in many ways, she's very similar to my girlfriend. I think this is just one of the cases where similar people just repel, because on paper, they should be very good friends. They aren't outwardly rude to each other. However, they clearly don't vibe. So 3 things happened on this trip that led to disaster. On our first day there, we planned on going to the beach. While we were getting ready, my girlfriend told me she was feeling bloated and she forgot to pack a one-piece to wear. I told her we would chill in the room, and she said she wanted to go down to the beach, but we should buy one at the resort shop. On our way down, we ran into Jessica, and I told her we were going to the shop to look for a new bathing suit. Jess then offered to let my girlfriend borrow one of hers, but my girlfriend immediately rejected it and said we'd buy one. We were at the bar drinking and dancing. Jess is only about 5'5" and probably less than 130. She's also pretty much skin and bones, so she's a lightweight. Eventually, she got pretty lit and was finding everyone and trying to get us to take a shot. I was down with it when she got to us, but my girlfriend wasn't. I told her it'd be fun, and she said no, and just said we were being boring, so I just took a shot with Jess. This set her off. The final issue was that the next day, my girlfriend and I were late for breakfast because we were getting intimate and lost track of time, which was wrong of us. So apparently Jess said she'd come to get us, and as she walked past our door, she heard zoo noises, and then she went back down to everyone else and said that we were occupying each other in maybe a minute. When we got downstairs, the group was cracking jokes, which I thought was no big deal. Then they said Jess heard us, and my girlfriend got mad. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. My girlfriend snapped at her and told her that Jess had been catty to her all trip and she'd just been trying to have a good time. She told her to stop being such a pick-me witch to her. This caused Jess to cry. I told my girlfriend she needed to apologize to her and resolve whatever beef they had. My girlfriend said that Jess needs to apologize for acting like she did and that I'm being an idiot for taking her side. We've been fighting about this since we returned, and things are now awkward with Jess. My friends are split on this, as some think that my girlfriend was being overboard, while others think she may have a point, which I don't understand. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. You said Jess was skin and bones, and then offered your girlfriend to wear her bathing suit. Unless your girlfriend is skin and bones, catty. I'm sure the whole conversation around doing shots was simplified from your end, given that you don't understand how ridiculous it is that she offered your girlfriend one of her bathing suits. She offered to come up and get you. I'm guessing because no one else needed an excuse to interrupt you guys except her. And then she said she heard zoo noises? Dude, your friend Jess is catty as heck. Your girlfriend owes her nothing. Jess had him wrapped around her little finger, which sounds problematic. OP specifically mentioned how petite and lightweight Jess was. I wouldn't want to try on her swimsuit either. That sounds like a Pandora's box of body insecurities nobody should open. We're all ignoring that it's possible Jess specifically offered her own because she knew they weren't the same size and wanted to draw attention to it. My dude, it's telling that Jess gets a name in this story, but your girlfriend doesn't? Jess does sound like an annoying pick-me who tried to get under your girlfriend's skin, and you're taking her side, which I'm guessing is exactly what Jess wanted. If I were your girlfriend, I would be seriously considering if I wanted to continue competing with another girl for my boyfriend. And no, I wouldn't. So you need to ask yourself if Jess is worth losing your girlfriend for, and act accordingly. My wife is 19 weeks pregnant with our first child. In the beginning, she had bad morning sickness. One time it was awful. She was working from home that day and I was at work. My sister wasn't working that day, so my wife texted and asked her to bring some ginger ale since we didn't have any. My sister did. She's also texted other family members for minor things, asking my dad to come over to do the laundry because she was feeling sick, or asking my aunt to go and clean up the mess from when she dropped a glass jar of tomato sauce. My wife's only family are her parents, who live in another province now. She only asks my family for help if I'm unavailable because I'm at work or not at home. She's not asking for the moon or anything either. I would have thought my family would be happy to help her, but they're not, even though they did what she initially asked. My dad said it was excessive. My brother said he isn't an errand boy. My aunt said she isn't a servant. Others also complained. Even my sister, who I thought out of everyone would understand because she's a labor and delivery nurse, says my wife is asking too much. I told my family how hurt I was that they weren't supporting my wife. Some of them are parents, though none of them have been pregnant before, but I haven't been pregnant. So I'm doing whatever she asks. They said they don't mind helping occasionally, but now they're complaining. You are the idiot. Calling someone to clean up tomato sauce and do your laundry is taking advantage of people. She's pregnant, not helpless. Your sister knows this, and that's why she has a problem with her ridiculous demands. If you want to cater to her, then so be it. No one else has to, and I've had 3 children. I would never have dreamed of calling someone to do my housework for me, just because I was pregnant. Agreed. I could see if there was an emergency, like she was nauseous and needed ginger ale. But laundry? That isn't something critical that can't possibly wait until OP comes home. I can almost understand the broken jar. Maybe if she was afraid of slipping in the mess and couldn't get down to the floor to clean it herself. But the laundry was blowing my mind. She's 19 weeks. Barring a significant medical issue, she can clean it up. She also needs to stop being helpless. She's a grown adult. Just wait until she has a sick baby. What will she do? Dude, I get that you're trying to make sure that there's support for your wife, but what you're expecting of your family is excessive. You are the only person responsible for helping your wife, and if you're not available to help throughout the day, you both should maybe look into hiring a cleaning service or someone to come in perhaps once a week to help with the household stuff your wife doesn't feel able to do. My wife loves the show Yellowstone, and she has a lot of relatives that farm and ranch. She, however, is a city girl. I decided to blow a wad of cash for her birthday on something useless. I bought her a cowboy hat, a very expensive cowboy hat, over $600, from a place that does custom fitting. I got one for myself as well, and I got it fitted to my big melon head. It fits perfectly, and it's actually really comfortable and useful. I can understand why they're working hats. My wife was asked by the salesperson if her hat fit. She said yes. I told her to get it fitted so that it'd be perfect. The salesperson said it was no problem. My wife said it went really well and did not need extra attention. It blew into the ocean when we took a whale watching tour. She said she wanted to go back to the store to replace it. I asked if her budget could handle it. She's mad at me now for not replacing it. I don't think I should have to spend more money because she hates being a bother and making people do their jobs. Am I the idiot for telling my wife I would not replace her birthday gift that she destroyed with her silly people-pleasing? Not the idiot. She hates to be a bother, but is bothering you to replace her hat? So it's not that she doesn't want to be a bother. She seems A-okay with bothering you. You bought her a wonderful gift, and she had the opportunity to tell him it didn't fit. I'm a people pleaser, but your wife needs to understand that it blew away because it didn't fit. After all, she didn't say anything. She can't expect you to buy her a new one, especially if it's expensive. You are the idiot. Do you know if your wife understood that a hat fitting means that the wind won't blow it off your head? Because I didn't. I don't usually wear hats, but if a hat was tight enough on my head, it wouldn't blow off from a gust of wind. I would say it was too tight and didn't fit. She probably felt that it was comfortable, so it fit. I'm not saying that she should get another hat if you don't have the money, but you are being kind of a jerk about it. If you get your hat fitted, you can, for example, ride 3,000 pounds of angry steak without it falling off. She grew up in a city and rodeo country. She has relatives who do rodeo. She is well aware of why you get expensive hats fitted. She adjusts her baseball caps until they fit correctly. I took her to a store that literally custom molds them to your head. She chose not to use the free service. You're being unreasonable and, quite frankly, an idiot about this. It was an accident. Heck, over half my family owns cattle and property, but I wouldn't know the first thing about how a cowboy hat is supposed to fit. If it's comfortable and feels good, I'll say it fits. I don't want that crap squeezing the sides of my head until I get a headache, which is how you're making it sound. Stop putting words in your wife's mouth. She didn't say anything, not because she's a people pleaser. You said it yourself. She's a city girl. She doesn't know how it's supposed to fit. The store people asked her, not told her. You sound like a huge idiot. Replacing the gift isn't the decider on whether you're an idiot. It's how you treated your wife over a mistake.